A young man named Alex comes home to a shocking discovery. His own body lying on the living room floor, alongside an envelope with "Look at me" written on it. Inside the envelope, he finds a flash drive that, when plugged into his computer, displays a video of himself. Another him in the video calms his nerves, insisting he's not imagining things, and urges him to listen closely. This bizarre situation all began when mysterious men in black visited Alex. Rebecca, who works at a cutting-edge research institute linked with the National Security Agency, approaches Alex with an intriguing proposition. But there's a catch. He must sign a confidentiality agreement first. To sweeten the deal, she offers him a hefty check. Once Alex signs the papers, Rebecca reveals an extraordinary story about an unregistered American satellite, supposedly from the future, housing a coded message. If Alex agrees, he'll be put to sleep and taken to the institute. Understanding Alex's financial struggles and his inherited home, Rebecca quickly transfers a large sum of money into his account to show her sincerity. Convinced by this gesture, Alex decides to sign the documents. The next day, Alex is taken in a car and given a shot that makes him fall asleep. When he wakes up, he's in a secret place with Rebecca, who shows him the lab where the satellite is kept. Alex starts working on a task, but after 5 weeks he hasn't made any progress. Rebecca suggests he take a day off, but Alex insists he doesn't need it. One day, he has a vision of a young woman solving the same task. Soon after, Alex gets a nosebleed. Later, he discovers the woman's name written on the bed frame. Eventually, Alex figures out part of the code, which includes drawings of a strange device. Rebecca tells him his work is done, and he'll be taken back home. At night, Alex feels sick, thinking it's just because he's tired and stressed. But after a few days, he gets worse, experiencing stronger symptoms and persistent hallucinations. One day, 2 strange-looking men show up at Alex's doorstep, questioning why he agreed to decode the code. Confused, Alex sees it as just a job that pays well. However, these men persist, probing into the moral implications of his work. They warn about the potential devastating consequences of creating a powerful weapon from the decrypted drawings. As their interrogation intensifies, Alex's head throbs with pain. He requests the men to leave, and as they depart, they thank him for the answers. Strangely, Alex's headache dissipates instantly. He sits at his computer, but a call from Rebecca jolts him, reminding him of the signed non-disclosure agreements. An infuriated Alex realizes the Institute is monitoring him. As he returns to his computer, the lights suddenly go out in his house. Alex ventures outside, only to spot one of the men across the street. Shockingly, the man begins to grow in size before Alex's eyes. Terrified, Alex rushes back home, peering out the window to witness the giant hand of the man reaching for him. In a moment of fear and desperation, Alex extends his hand to meet the colossal palm. One morning, Rebecca finds Alex working, and he tries to explain a strange idea, that humans live in a world with only 2 dimensions, while his recent visitors are from an advanced civilization that exists not just in space, but also in time. They can be in the same room at different times and watch events through a special window in time. Alex attempts to warn Rebecca about the danger posed by the device they're creating, fearing it could lead to a conflict like World War I. But Rebecca surprises him by revealing she knows about his brain tumor. He blames the Institute for causing it by placing him in a room with a radioactive satellite. He insists they stop making the device. In the present, Alex takes a drastic step, removing his own lifeless body from the house and burying it in the woods. Then, he goes back to his computer to keep listening to the story from his future self. Future Alex regrets that no one listened to his warnings, sensing something terrible is approaching. In a desperate attempt to connect with the woman, Beth, Alex tracks down her address. Initially resistant, Beth refuses to engage with him. It's only when Alex cries out about his terminal condition, claiming he has only 6 months left to live, that Beth finally opens up. She discloses that she too has a limited time, 2 years left. She acknowledges the danger posed by the weapon, and realizes that the drawings might indeed be from the future. Beth reveals another person, Shearman, who communicates with her through the computer, assigning tasks she solves when feeling well. Feeling unwell, Beth is escorted to her bedroom, while a man goes downstairs. There, he witnesses glimpses of the girl's life in mirrors, a farewell to her beloved in military uniform, receiving distressing news from comrades, and holding a handful of pills, contemplating leaving this life. In this moment, his attention is diverted by a message from Shearman on the computer. Alex responds, but Shearman quickly detects that it's not Beth and disconnects. The man seizes a stack of printed papers containing tasks previously given by Shearman. In the morning, Beth discovers Alex on her sofa with the papers pieced together, forming a puzzling image. He asserts that these fragments form a puzzle, holding the key to Shearman's intentions. It's clear to him that Shearman isn't affiliated with the Institute. Alex implores Beth to help prevent the creation of a destructive machine. Beth shares her ordeal, explaining that her illness began after working with the satellite. She experienced hallucinations and pondered a message from the future. She started hearing voices of the deceased, and even her own voice. Despite not believing in aliens, she saw them. She pleads with Alex to leave. Returning home, Alex encounters men in black waiting for him. Rebecca commands him to cease contact with Beth and advises him to use his remaining time wisely. Furious, he dismisses the visitors, only to find all his papers vanished upon entering the house. Meanwhile, Beth witnesses a bright light at her home, triggering sickness and fear. She screams and tries to hide. Alex, attempting to drown his thoughts in alcohol, receives a message from Shefferman on his computer. Convinced Rebecca is behind the alias, he confronts the interlocutor, only to be denied. In a crucial moment, the doorbell rings and Beth appears, directed there by Siobhan. He sent her blueprints for a device capable of neutralizing future technology. Together, they start devising a virus to thwart the construction of the ominous machine outlined in the decrypted blueprints. However, their plans are interrupted the following morning when Rebecca storms into Alex's house. She reveals that the Institute is aware of their efforts and is en route. Rebecca discloses the Institute's founder, Shefferman, and implores them to reach him urgently, hoping to dismantle the device with their assistance. As cars approach Alex's home, the couple flees through the back exit. Unfortunately, Rebecca is apprehended, injected, and forced into a car. Meanwhile, back at Alex's house, all the gas burners in the kitchen are turned on, setting a dangerous scene. In the evening, Alex and Beth reach scientist Miles, who recognizes them immediately. Having closely followed their work, he reveals a startling revelation. The satellite they decrypted wasn't the only one. Another satellite orbited Earth for about 400 years. It appears that unknown beings from the future anticipated humanity's growth, space exploration, and their ability to decipher their message. The ancient satellite also contained blueprints for a machine designed to limit humanity's evolution within the third dimension. When Miles announced his discovery, he was met with ridicule. Fortunately, the tumor he developed as a result wasn't fatal. Miles is convinced that these extraterrestrial beings can exist in multiple dimensions and perceive time in a non-linear form, unlike humans. The second device currently under construction at the Institute is likely to provide these beings access to the human dimension. Currently, they observe humanity like characters in a movie, unable to alter the storyline. The second device, however, could potentially change the existing reality. As Miles delves into the intricacies of this phenomenon, he grapples with an incomplete understanding, acknowledging that even the appearance of these aliens is a construct of the human brain. He confides in Alex and Beth that he's been in contact with a colossal alien, visible only to him, residing in his garden for over 30 years. Miles constantly gazes at it, causing his brain to adapt and perceive the true form of the humanoid. However, his guests see nothing. Miles believes the tumors in their heads serve as the alien's aid, enabling people to perceive their reality. Alex suggests destroying the device, but there's no guarantee the Institute won't reconstruct it. Erasing all data on the server becomes imperative, even though the Institute's location remains unknown. Miles, one of its founders, unveils a detailed map of the Institute, surprising everyone. Suddenly, a loud bang at the door interrupts them. Reacting swiftly, Alex and Beth flee, leaving Miles to pacify the agitated alien. As Alex and Beth infiltrate the Institute, they separate to enhance their chances of finding the laboratory. Alex observes a guard displaying peculiar behavior, constantly moving backward, realizing the time loop within the Institute. Similarly, Beth falls victim to this loop, understanding the futility of progressing further. Determined, she activates a bomb, but the time loop prevents her escape. Meanwhile, Alex ventures into a darkened room, attempting to carry the bomb forward. He's intercepted by an alien entity that disintegrates him into particles. Moments later, Alex awakens tied to a table, facing a humanoid figure. Believing he's perished, Alex is shocked when the alien clarifies otherwise. They're merely curious about human appearance and the linear perception of time. For these beings, time is an incomprehensible and burdensome construct, an endless cycle devoid of meaningful progression. To them, humans are trapped in a repetitive cycle, forced to relive the same experiences repeatedly. The aliens, existing beyond the confines of time and space, exist in every moment simultaneously. The concept of cause and effect, the sequence of actions, is an enigma to them. Alex contemplates what would happen if humans were freed from the constraints of waiting, pondering how humanity might evolve to resemble the appearance of these aliens. However, he realizes that this transformation would mean the demise of the familiar personality, the ego, a concept that surprises the alien, as death is a natural part of their existence. Time, which governs everything for humans, becomes both a benefactor and a thief, shaping their perception of reality. As the source of their projections fades, humans struggle to distinguish between reality and illusion, even with an eternity of self-analysis. With every birth, a new reality emerges, presenting individuals with constant choices. Feeling deeply unsettled, Alex is offered a chance by the alien to return to a moment before he fell ill, armed with the knowledge he now possesses. Alex decides he wouldn't go to the Institute if given another chance. The alien is surprised by this change in behavior, since Alex believes he can't alter the situation. Alex acknowledges that people can't control what happens. The humanoid questions if going back in time could change anything. Suddenly, Alex finds himself back at home in front of his computer. He records a flash drive, realizing nothing can be changed. He feels like the world might end tomorrow, but this doesn't shock him. It's like everything's already happened, ending even before it started. He puts the flash drive in an envelope, leaving a warning for his past self about Beth, and rushes to her house. Meanwhile, future Alex urges to forget everything. He leaves a final message, prompting contemplation about the nature of time and how our actions may shape our futures without our awareness. And here Movies comes to an end. Thanks for watching, guys.